Well, good evening, my friends, and welcome back to yet another episode from the Cumberland Outdoorsman. I've been out here for the last 2 afternoons doing some practicing with my vintage Matthews Ultramax. This is a solo cam bow that I've had ever since it was brand new, and I gotta say, it's been an excellent bow, shot after shot, year after year, season after season. And I tuned it last year, and I came out here and tried it again this afternoon and yesterday, and it's still, nothing has changed. This bow still shoots spot on. It's still reliable, accurate, fast, and deadly. And as you can see here, I've been doing some practicing at different angles because you really need to practice. If you have some 3D targets or whatever, even if you just have a picture, pasted up against maybe a backstop or something, you need to practice at different angles, because it's not always when you're up in your tree stand that the deer are going to present a perfectly broadside shot. You got to think about where that arrow or that bullet, this also applies to gun hunters, is going to go through and where it's going to exit after you take the shot. So here I was focusing on a slightly quartering away shot. So you want to put those arrows just a little bit further back behind the shoulder, because you need to think about where that arrow's coming out on the other side. Let me show you what I'm talking about. As you can see here, both of these arrows are right next to each other, right there, perfectly in line with the rear of this lung, this being a white-tailed deer. Could also represent a mule deer or whatever. And then where it comes out on the other side, right here behind the shoulder, that's where your exit wound would be. So we'd be getting the rear of this lung and the front of the opposite side, the opposing lung, okay? And if you can puncture both lungs with a broadhead, that deer's not going anywhere, folks. You're going to find that deer in pretty quick order. That's what you want. So I'm going to take a few shots a little bit further back, actually angling from here. So where do I need to put my arrow? Do I need to put it here? Or do I need to put it here? Some people say, well, you'll be getting a gut shot. True, that's just in front of the intestinal tract, but you're angling that arrow into the lungs here. That's what you're trying to do, because at this angle, that arrow is going to come out right behind the front shoulder. So let me take a shot and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay guys, as you can see, this arrow landed just about where I shot the last two just previously, and this arrow actually landed in a better position, because at this angle you're going to be getting right into the back of the lung, be going through the front part of the liver, through the diaphragm, into the lung, and the front part of this lung over on the other side. Whereas right here, yeah, you'll get this lung here and maybe the front of that lung, but you're going to be lodged in the opposite shoulder. That's the reason I took that shot, just to show you the importance of putting your sight pin a little bit further back at these harder quartering away shots. You need to think about that. Just like if you're up in a tree stand and that deer is maybe 10 yards away and you're aiming right here, you're not going to get a whole lot of the vitals right there. You need to be aiming up here. That way you get the top of this lung and then the bottom of the other lung. It all depends on your angle. This is a game of angles. Try to imagine that there's a balloon inside this deer's chest and you're trying to hit the center of that balloon. You're trying to go right through that balloon and pop that balloon. If there was a balloon inside this chest and you're aiming here, you're going to miss that balloon. You're just going to You might catch the top of the heart or the side of the heart or something, possibly, depending on what the angle is and how high you are in the tree stand. You know, height makes a big difference. You don't want to go too high because quite often the angles are so steep that your vital zone is going to be quite small. You know, you need to think about all this stuff before the season starts. For those of you that are just starting bow hunting, this is really important. So I'm going to be shooting slightly ~2. So try to make a guess where I need to be aiming right here in a ~2 shot. I don't like ~2 shots, but sometimes that's all you get. So if you can guess, I'm going to try and put that arrow right where it needs to go if I'm over here, you know, on this side of the deer. Okay, that's exactly where that arrow needed to go. You want to go just on the other side of this heavy bone right here that comes in. You want to just miss that bone because that shoulder bone is real heavy. And you want to angle it into the front part of this lung and come out on the other side at the rear of the opposing lung. Okay, you want to just miss that shoulder bone where it comes down right here. It kind of comes in at a little bit of an angle, actually from here, and then it joins up right here. You want to miss this shoulder bone, so you want to come just at the other side of it and angle your arrow inwards so you can hit the front of that lung, maybe the top of that heart, and get the back of this lung so that you'll still get blood coming out on the other side, because that's what you want, a good blood trail. That arrow is going to zip right on through there. But if you were to aim right here and make your angle too sharp, you're going to hit that shoulder bone and your arrow is going to bounce out. I've done that before. I've learned the hard way. You don't want to take a shot that's too far angled. You want to kind of hug just the crease of that shoulder right there and put that arrow right in there, and you'll harvest that deer. Trust me. That was a shot from about 20 yards. Okay, now here's a shot that's just slightly ~2. Like I said, I don't really like to take ~2 shots, but a lot of times deer won't come in just like you want them to. You know, they won't come all the way. Maybe he detected a little something, maybe he smelled something or saw something he didn't like, and he's just standing there, you know. So let's see where we can put this arrow. All right, that is exactly where you want to put that arrow. Exactly. At this angle, it's right on the right side of that shoulder bone. You're missing the shoulder bone, and you're getting right into the front part of that lung on this side. Let's take a closer look here. Okay, shoulder bone is right in here. Okay, it comes over at an angle, joins up with the leg right here. You want to tuck that arrow right into that muscle right there. That'll punch right through. You'll get the front part of that lung and the back of that lung. That's slightly ~2. That deer is dead all day long. All right, trying to get you guys to think about the angles here. You know, this, like I said, it's the same thing with a gun. You're trying to get into that vital area. You could have aimed right here, or I could have aimed right here and gotten a lethal hit. That's true, but I want to make the most of that shot. That is exactly where I aimed, right at the tip of that, and that's where my arrow hit. Okay, here we got the perfect scenario, an absolute perfect broadside shot. I think everybody knows where this arrow needs to go, so let's see if we can deliver. Okay, that arrow went all the way through. Let me go see if I can retrieve that. It zipped right through that 3D target. I really need to get some more new targets, but let me go find that arrow. Well guys, if it looks darker back here, that's because it is. I'm in the woods. Don't forget, if you have access to some woods, the same kind of habitat where you plan to hunt, then you, by all means, practice in the woods, you know, where you plan to hunt. Maybe not the exact same location, but the same type of habitat. Right here behind me, I've got that deer set up. He's slightly quartered away, and he's in between some trees. This is great practice for deer hunting because a lot of times, you know, you'll have trees and stuff in the way. You need to wait for that deer to step out where you can get a clear shot. He's slightly quartered away, and I'm going to take a shot. We'll see where this one lands. All right, let's go check it out. All right, although that shot looks like it's a little bit too far back, that's actually perfect. Look at that. Right in the back of the lung here. The angle would be coming out the front of this lung here. I know it's kind of dark, but believe me, you need to be practicing in this kind of a setup because quite often deer will come in early in the morning and also late in the afternoon, late in the evening. Things are not always going to be ideal. Okay, my friends, that was a perfect shot at 25 yards. I didn't know the distance, but I paced it off after I pulled that arrow out and I came to 25 yards right here. So let's back up a little bit and try that again at 30 yards. Okay guys, here we are at 30 yards, and I'll tell you what, that looks so much different. Just a distance of 5 yards difference, especially with archery equipment in these dark woods like this. I mean, that's going to be a tough shot. So let's see if we can do it. I got to move the camera down so I can get a shot here between these tree limbs. All right, let's go check it out. Let's pace it off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Okay, as you can see, I don't know if you can or not, that arrow hit a little bit far back, but I think I'm still in good shape because it would come out about midway of this opposite lung right here. That deer right there is dead. Well guys, I know it's rather dark out here. It's not the ideal conditions to be able to shoot a video, but I wanted to wait until the latter part of the day so that I could illustrate a point to you guys that are getting ready for the upcoming deer season. Remember, practice in the same conditions that you expect to hunt in. You know, get out here and shoot at different angles. Remember, you're trying to pop that balloon inside that deer's chest or elk or whatever it is you're after. And if you're hunting with a bow, this is really important because you need to make sure your equipment is shooting the way you really need it to be. Make sure you use the same arrows, the same broadheads, everything to get your bow sighted in so that when that moment of truth arrives, you can deliver that shot. You know, you want to be able to make a good ethical shot so that you can cleanly harvest that animal. And that's the reason I came out here. I wanted to show you guys that, you know, those perfect scenarios don't always present themselves, and quite often you get varying angles. And if you learn and you practice to make those shots at the right angles, you'll be a much more successful deer hunter. I promise you that, because you'll be able to deliver much more lethal hits on those game animals. I know that it's an election year, you know, there's a lot of distractions right now, but don't let that affect you in getting ready for the upcoming deer season, because it's approaching fast. It's been a crazy election year. I just heard that the former president, Donald Trump, had another assassination attempt on his life. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. This is just crazy. But I'll tell you what, no matter what happens, I think we're in for a wild ride. So get out here, make sure your equipment is ready, make sure it's tuned in, and make sure you're ready. You know, get yourself back into the hunting mode, so to speak, so that you can put some meat in the freezer this year. Because Lord knows we might even need it. You know, the way things are going now, we may be relying on wild game more than we expect. So with that being said, let me remind you, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this, hit that like button, smash that bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all get out and get your hunting equipment ready and take care of yourselves. I'll be seeing you.